Hi guys, Casper MMA here. Today we're back with another UFC predictions video on the channel. Today giving my predictions for UFC 319, Du Plessis versus Chimaev. Now I've not made a UFC prediction video in like a month now. I think the last one I did was Holloway and Dustin Poirier, that UFC 318, because I don't really do the big pay-per-view cards because I'm going to be real to you guys, these UFC videos get me the least views out of any of the prediction videos I make, so I sometimes just think it's pointless. But I'm here to give it, it's a big card this week, so I'm looking forward to it. But before I go and jump into this week's picks, make sure if you guys are new around here and you're enjoying this content, you go down below and hit the subscribe button. It's free and it's really appreciated. So there's a hell of a lot of fights on this week's card, 15 in total, with one like literally just getting added this morning before I made this video. So we kick things off with the first prelim of Idiris versus Joseph Morales. Now, I think this is one of the like tough finals or something like that. I think so. Like, I didn't really look at, but I've saw there's like some Ultimate Fighter things going on this card. But this looks a decent fight. I mean, Idiris, 10-0, Kazakhstan man. He looks pretty good. Obviously got quite a few wins by KO, a few wins by decision in his career as well. So he's pretty good. I mean, his last fight was a win by round 1 KO, and then before that it was another win by round 1 KO as well. So he's a pretty good fighter. He looks good. His opponent, Joseph Morales, on the other hand, is an American man, 12-2 in total, on a 3-fight winning streak coming into this. He looks pretty good as well. I mean, was in the UFC before, back in 2017, won one and then lost his other two to Davison Figueiredo and Eric Shelton. But since then, I mean, there's only 2 losses in his career. Apart from that, he's won on all the regionals and stuff like that. So he's a decent fighter. Got 6 wins by submission in his career. But I don't think he's going to be able to beat Idiris in this fight. He's a good fighter, Morales, but I think Idiris, 10-0, undefeated man, looks pretty good, and I reckon Idiris is going to win by decision. And now we move the card again to Rodrigo Sezinando versus Neal Donchenko. Now, I think this is also another one of the tough fights as well. But Sezinando is an 8-1 Brazilian man. He looks very good. Only lost once by decision in his career. And it's a decent opponent, to be fair. But around that, he's just like finishing everybody. Only got 1 win by decision. The rest have either come by KO or submission. I mean, his last 2 fights have ended in round 1 KOs. So he looks a pretty good fighter, I've got to say. Neal Donchenko is 11-2, Ukrainian man. Looks also very good. Obviously only lost twice in his career. Both came by decisions, both of his losses. But around that, he's got a lot of finishes himself. 7 wins by KO in his career. I mean, he looks pretty good. Got a lot of KOs. Then his last win before coming into this fight was by decision. So I do like both these guys. Honestly, they've both got a really good chance of winning this. But I've got to pick one, and I've not really watched all of their fights, so I'm going to pick Sezinando to get this job done by KO. And now moving up to some of the more well-known fighters on the card, we have Silva versus Dione Barbosa. Now, kicking off the women's fight of the card, Silva is 18-5 now, Brazilian woman. She's good. I mean, she did lose her last fight, to be fair, to Vivian Araujo by decision. But before that, she was on like a 8-fight, 9-fight winning streak, something like that. It was really good. And obviously, she was doing good in the UFC as well. Got quite a few finishes by submission and stuff. So she's a good fighter. Obviously, has lost to Dione Barbosa before on like some regional promotion. Lost a decision there. That was before she came to the UFC. But around that, she's a good fighter. Got a lot of wins by submission in her career. Quite a few wins by KO as well. Like the fact she only won 1 decision as a women's fighter is kind of nuts. But Dione Barbosa, on the other hand, is also Brazilian, 8-3 in total. Coming off a win against Belbita by submission herself. Lost to Miranda Maverick before that. And yeah, she's all right. Lost a couple of times in her career to some decent opponents like Jenna Bishop, who's in PFL, Josie Nunez by KO. But and then she beat Silva like early on in her career. But I do think that both these women are decent fighters, to be fair, but I just think Silva is going to get the job done here. I mean, she lost to Barbosa quite a while ago, and since then I feel like she's improved. So I'm going to back Silva to get the decision. And now we move the card to Nursultan Ruziboev versus Brian Battle. Now, This is actually not a bad fight here. Ruziboev, 36-9-2. I mean, his record is so mad. He's like had a lot of fights. Literally most of them coming on like regional, like he's Uzbekistan scene. I don't know where he's been fighting, where he's from, but when he's come to the UFC, he's pretty good, to be fair. He's only lost once in the UFC, and that was to Buckley, who's actually had a decent run at middleweight up until he fought. Was it welterweight, middleweight? I don't know which one he's was fighting at. Buckley. He was in both, I think. But yeah, he lost to Usman recently. But that was his only loss in the UFC, was to Buckley, and around that he KO'd Dumas, KO'd McConico, and then just beat Dustin Stoltzfus by decision in his last fight. So Ruziboev is a decent fighter, to be fair to him. On the other hand, we have Brian Battle, 12-2, American man, is also a good fighter. I mean, he's only lost in the UFC has come to Rinat Fakhretdinov, and then around that he's just got all finishes pretty much, apart from his last fight, which is against Randy Brown, which wasn't the most convincing fight in the world. He got the job done by split decision, but he didn't look as good as he has in his other fights. But honestly, I can see a world where Ruziboev gets this job done, because like by decision maybe. But I'm going to back Brian Battle. I do think that he's shown he's a pretty good fighter in this, and he's like the favourite for a reason. So I'm backing Battle to get this job done by decision. And now move the card to Edson Barboza versus Dricus Klose. Now, Edson Barboza, how old is he now? He must be fucking old. He's 39. Wow, he's still going somehow. 24-12 now. His record. I mean, he's actually been doing quite well. I mean, he beat Quarantero by KO, then he beat Sadiq Yusuf by decision, and then got shown up by Lerone Murphy in his last fight. But Lerone Murphy is an up and coming prospect in the division. But around that, I mean, when did he even first join the UFC? In 2010. He's been around, so like bloody hell, he's been 15 years in the UFC. Is kind of crazy. But yeah, to be fair, he's 39. He's still kind of got it. He's not completely washed yet, even though his last forms wasn't that great against Murphy. But on the other hand, we have Dricus Klose, who's also quite old, to be fair. He's 37, so this is a quite old matchup here in the UFC. He's 15-3 in total, so also not a bad record. I mean, he's lost 3 times to the UFC. Once to Beneil Dariush, and then he lost his last fight to Joel Alvarez, who is a decent opponent, to be fair. But around that, he has got some good wins in the UFC, to be fair to him. There's Dricus Klose, I'll always remember him for that slam KO of Joe Solecki that time. That was pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure that was one of my best picks on the channel, was picking Klose in that fight. But yeah, he is pretty good, Klose, and he did both these guys coming off a loss in their last fight. So it's a toss-up here. Both old guys here. Both could get the job done here. But I might back the underdog here and take Klose to get the job done. And I reckon he gets the decision. And now we move the card to Alexander Hernandez versus Chase Hooper. Now, Hernandez is 16-8 now in total. I mean, he's just not very good, really, is he? I mean, he's like an average level UFC fighter. He's just here. He's like never going to be good enough to like challenge for the top of the divisions. But you know, he's just hanging around. He's on a 2-fight winning streak at the minute. Beat Kurt Hollabaugh and Austin Hubbard, both wins by decision. Then before that, lost to Damon Jackson and Bill Algeo, and he did beat Jim Miller, but like he's lost quite a few times, to be fair. Been subbed by like Renato Moicano, being KO'd a couple of times and stuff. So you know, he's an alright fighter. 8-7 in total in the UFC, kind of explains a lot there. On the other hand, we have Chase Hooper, is 16-3-1. Only 25 years old. I mean, he's really good. I mean, obviously, he's been on quite a good run recently. Like he's on a 4-5 fight win streak at the minute. I mean, he's doing good. I mean, he's submitted 3 of his opponents. Just beat Jim Miller by decision as well. Been a while since he lost. I mean, his only losses have come to quite good like opponents like Alex Caceres and Steve Garcia quite early on in his UFC career as well. So he's just improving all the time. He's been looking good. I mean, the Jim Miller fight wasn't that exciting, to be fair, but yeah, Chase Hooper should get this job done pretty easily. I mean, I saw some people on Twitter talking about like how Alexander Hernandez he's going to win this. I mean, I was like, that's crazy. Chase Hooper wins this every day. I mean, I don't know if he manages to finish him here, but I've got to back him anyways. I'm going to back Hooper to get the submission. And now, moving up the card, we go to Jessica Andrade versus Lupita Godinez. Now, Jessica Andrade still kicking about in the UFC, 26-14 now. Her record, 33 years old. To be fair, it's quite young in terms of like women's fighters and stuff, and like on the roster, because like for the amount of fights she's had in the UFC, it's crazy. She's 17-12 in total in the UFC. Feels like she's been around forever. Not been doing too well recently though. She's only won 2 of her last like 7 fights. I mean, she's losing to like everyone at the top of the division and stuff like that. But still, she's still dangerous. Obviously, as a women's fighter, she's got so many KOs. One of the hardest hitting women's fighters there is, and obviously got quite a few submission wins as well in her career. But her opponent Lupita Godinez is a 13-5 record. Slightly younger fighter, but I just feel like she's the better fighter in this fight. I mean, she has lost twice in the last 3 fights to Mackenzie Dern and Jandiroba, but she won this year against Palastri. She has got some decent wins on her career, to be fair, and also I just don't think Andrade is going to win this fight. I mean, I just can't see her beating Godinez in this fight. I feel like Godinez will just be better all round, and Godinez wins by decision. And now, moving up the card to Baisangur Susurkaev versus Eric Nolan. Now, that was a handful of a name to say, but this fight literally just got added this morning, I think I saw, when I woke up, which is crazy because if you've seen, that Susurkaev literally just won on the Contender Series by the body kick KO, and then he's fighting on like 4 days notice on this card, which is kind of mental. It's probably not a good idea, really, to have 2 guys step in on 4 days notice and both like up and coming prospects, but hey, it's entertainment for us, I guess. Adds another fight that should be fun. But Susurkaev, 9-0, Russian man, and he's only 24 as well. He looks good. I mean, he's got 8 wins by KO, only 1 win come by decision. Obviously, he looks really good. Literally, all of his wins apart from 1 coming in round number 1 as well. So he's dangerous, man. What can you else say? He's just one of these another like Khamzat fucking regen. He's like Russian guy, undefeated. What can you say? Eric Nolan, on the other hand, 8-3, American man. He's 27 years old. He's on a good run at the minute. He's a 4-fight winning streak. His last 3 wins all come by KO. He looks good. He's been beating some alright opponents as well in a CFFC, and yeah, he looks a good fighter. But he's not going to be good enough really against Susurkaev. I don't know how. I don't know if the like short notice is going to really affect him. I mean, it's like not really. It was like he did KO the last guy in round number 1, so it's not like he's had much of a beating in his last fight. So he should be ready for this weekend. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to back Susurkaev to get another win by KO. And now, moving up the card, we go to Gerald Meerschaert versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. Now, GM3 back again. How old is he now? 37. He's still around. 37-19 his record now. You look at his record and like topology, it's just like there's quite a lot of red recently, but to be fair, he has a couple wins in there, like he managed to submit Shabazian and Barbosa, so it's kind of crazy that he's had like 37 wins in his career and 29 of them have come by submission. That's his own, like literally as well. It's literally pretty sure all of his wins in the UFC have either came by I'm pretty sure they've all came by submission wins in the UFC, so that's just his only route to victory in any fight, and it's not really worked out in quite a few. Like he got subbed by Derrida, who's actually to be fair, that was actually a competitive fight for Derrida in that one, but we've seen what Derrida's gone on to do, so not the worst loss in the world. Then he lost to Brad Tavares in his last fight as well. But Michael Oleksiejczuk on the other hand, 20-9 now in total. Wasn't doing too good himself. He lost 3 in a row to Holland, Ferreira and Magomedov. But came back in his last fight with the KO over Dumas, which is impressive to be fair. Got the job done there, and he's going to win this one as well. Unless he somehow manages to get subbed by GM3, which is a possibility. Now I'm not ruling that out. That definitely could happen. But I'm going to back Oleksiejczuk to get the win by KO. Now we're moving up the card to King Green versus Diego Ferreira. I would still really call this guy King Green. It's Bobby Green. Like you can't change your name to King Green and then lose twice in a row. I mean, that's just kind of silly. But Bobby Green, he's washed now. Come on, he's 38 years old. Hang it up, mate, please. I mean, he's only winning the last couple of years. His last 4 fights has been against Jim Miller, who's also an ancient man. He lost to Jalen Turner by that scary late stoppage. Then got choked by Paddy Pimblett, and then got flatline KO'd again by Mauricio Ruffi with that pretty cool head kick. Apart from that, he did well to KO Grant Dawson, submitted Tony Ferguson. I mean, he's just washed, man. Bobby Green is washed, and his opponent Diego Ferreira is also pretty old. To be fair, he's 40, so somehow he's older than Bobby Green in this fight. 19-6 in total, but he did lose to Grant Dawson in his last fight. We were doing MMA Mafia. Bobby Green beat Grant Dawson. Diego Ferreira's lost to him. What can you say there? But he did KO Rebecca, which is turned out to be quite a good KO, because Rebecca is a good fighter. KO Michael Johnson as well, and then lost to Gamrot before that and stuff. But Ferreira, he's not a bad fighter. 10-6 in total in the UFC. I just feel like he's older than Bobby Green, but he's just going to get the job done here. I can see him winning this. Honestly, probably will get the KO in this fight, but I'm going to back Ferreira to get the decision. Now, we move up to the main card. We have Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Now, Tim Elliott, 20-13-1 now. It's been a little while since he last fought. He last fought Summerderji back in 2023. Submitted him in round number 1. And then before that, beat Makayev. I mean, what is happening to Makayev? Is he coming back anytime soon? No idea. But, he's overall... Tim Elliott is quite a good fighter, to be fair. He is 38 now, so there's a lot of old fighters on this card, I've realised. But there's quite a few young ones as well. But he's getting on a bit in the flyweight division. But to be fair, he's not bad. He obviously does have quite a few good wins, to be fair, on his career. Beat Altamirano and Ulan Bekov back-to-back by decisions and stuff. And then coming off a win in his last fight. Kai Asakura, on the other hand, 21-5. Obviously... his first fight in the UFC was against Pantoja, and now we look at that, it was not a good fight for your first fight, because Pantoja is just one of the GOATs. I mean, obviously not, but he's good fighter. Pantoja had been disrespected for so long, in the pound for pound list, he was so low for no reason, but people starting to say he's actually a good fighter, Pantoja. He's really good. And then around that, I feel like Asakura, he's had a bit of time off since that fight, and this is probably an easier matchup for him, and I feel like Asakura is going to get this one done this time. I just feel like he's going to be better than Tim Elliott. He was saying something about how the reason he was so bad because he wasn't used to the ring. He's used to a ring, and he came to the octagon, which was different for him or something. So I think he's had time to prepare for this one, and I reckon Asakura is going to win by decision. Now we move up the card to Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. Now MVP is back again, 23-3. I mean, and he's I'm pretty sure he's British, but then whenever you see him fighting, he always puts the weird no, he's doesn't want to represent the country when he fights for some reason. But he's doing all right, to be fair, in the UFC. I mean, obviously lost to Gary, but Gary's quite good, to be fair, isn't he? Lost to him and then beat Magomedov, took his O, which is quite impressive. I mean, I think I predicted MVP to win that fight. I just didn't think Magomedov was going to be good enough, because Page is actually quite a good fighter. I mean, he is 38 now, but his opponent, Jared Cannonier, is, what is he, 40 now? 41, damn. He's definitely probably going to retire soon, but he's still got it, to be fair. I mean, obviously got KO'd by Imavov, which was the early stoppage, and then or basically got KO'd by Parallo. God knows how the ref didn't stop that fight, but somehow survived. I mean, he's still got a bit of a chin at 41, does Cannonier, and then came back and beat Gregor Rodriguez. I picked Rodriguez thinking Cannonier was going to be finished, but he proved he isn't. Cannonier has still got it, man. He's 41. He's still kicking about at the top of the middleweight division, but he's not going to win this one. Page is definitely going to take this fight. Probably won't be able to finish Cannonier after what we've seen before, so I'm going to back Page to get the decision. Now, moving up the card to Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. Now, This is a fun fight. I'm pretty sure they tried to make this fight a bit ago, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I think was this the one where Ian Gary stepped in and fought Prates? I'm not really sure, but what's it, Jeff Neal? You know, he's obviously a good fighter. Lost a couple times to like Ian Gary and Shavkat recently, but obviously they're two of the top of the division now, and Luque is getting on a bit. He's 34. But he did come and beat Rafael dos Anjos in his last fight, which was to be fair, a leg injury. But round 1 KO for him there. KO'd Luque before that, which was a pretty good KO with some uppercuts and that there. But Carlos Prates, on the other hand, obviously got fraud checked by Gary. If you call it fraud checked, I mean, he was literally KO'd everybody since coming to the UFC. He had 5 fights in a row. KO'd Neil Magny, KO'd Li Jingliang, just KO'd everybody. And then I'm pretty sure, yeah, he was the first one to like KO Li Jingliang or something like that. But Ian Gary showed him up. Yeah, he just couldn't deal with like Ian Gary's style and that. But to be fair, that was kind of a big like boost up. He was meant to be fighting Jeff Neal, and then Ian Gary stepped in. So I do think Pratt is going to take this fight. Do I think he KOs Jeff Neal? Possibly. There's a possibility, but I don't think he's going to be able to. I feel like Pratt is going to win by decision. Now, moving up the card, we have Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Now, Lerone Murphy, Englishman, got to back the English guys. 16-0-1, 34 years old. I mean, he's just pretty good, isn't he? I mean, he hasn't lost yet. Only had 1 draw. And his first UFC fight to Turkogov, something like Turkogov. I don't know how you say that. But since then, he's looked good. He has won quite a lot of his fights by decision. You can call him boring or whatever. But he's got a few KOs in there as well. Just beat Josh Emmett in his last fight. Danny Ige, Barbosa. I mean, he's looked decent in all his fights. Nothing like too like outstanding about Lerone Murphy. But overall, he's just a well-rounded fighter. He's just a competent striker and stuff. And he gets the job done. Aaron Pico, on the other hand, is 13-4 American man, 28 years old, just come in from Bellator, PFL, or both, I think. He's lost a couple of times. He's been like KO'd by like Adam Borix and Jeremy Kennedy, but that was like a shoulder injury and stuff. But if you've watched my prediction videos on like Bellator and stuff, you'd have seen me talk about these fighters before. But he's on a 3-fight win streak at the minute. Got a win by decision, then 2 wins by round 1, ground and pound. So he's a good fighter, but he's not like you can't really compare like Bellator and PFL really to like the UFC level. We've seen it before with like I feel like this fight is gonna be like the Pitbull fight when he came in and fought Bautista. I mean, like obviously Pitbull looked good in his second fight against Danny Ige, but I feel like Pico isn't tested enough at this level. Murphy is proven in the UFC, 16-0. What can you say? The underdog odds are crazy. Get all your money on Lerone Murphy right now. I'm telling you, put your money on Lerone Murphy because Murphy wins by decision. Now, moving up to the main event, Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, wow, this is a hard fight to call, but I'm so looking forward to it. I can't wait. DDP 23-2 in total. I mean, it's not the most impressive like championship run, to be fair. Obviously, like his UFC career is impressive, but like the fact he's beat Sean Strickland twice, and then like he beat Israel Adesanya, which I was impressed by submission as well. Did not expect that, but he's not really been like tested because he's only fought Sean Strickland twice. But obviously, DDP is a good fighter. We've seen in all his fights, he's goofy, but he gets the job done. But Khamzat, on the other hand, hasn't fought for a little while. Last year, he fought Robert Whittaker, got the round 1 submission, which was very impressive. Like literally got the job done quicker than anyone else. And then got the majority decision against Kamaru Usman. That loss for Usman there is proven to be like aging very well because Usman's not washed one bit. He like nearly won against Khamzat and then just beat Buckley as well recently. So that's pretty good for him. But Khamzat, you know, we know how good he is. The round 1s, like he can literally almost finish anyone. I mean, Gilbert Burns gave him a tough matchup a while ago. That's probably good for Chimaev. Probably learned a lot from that fight. But honestly, this fight can go either way. Do I think Chimaev can finish DDP in round 1? No, I don't think he does, to be honest. I feel like Du Plessis would have been training a lot for the takedown, stuff like that. I feel like this fight probably going to go to decision here. I can see either one winning as well. But I'm just looking forward to watching this, man. I want to see how it plays out. But I've got to back Chimaev. I just think he's the better fighter overall. Everyone's talking about DDP, this, that, goofy art. God knows what's going to happen. But Chimaev should win this theoretically. Probably going to get the submission, but I'm going to back Chimaev with the decision. So there we have it. There are my picks for UFC 319. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my picks. And that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.